So, I am frequently asked, hey Flossie, why don't I have what I want yet? And I gotta tell you, a lot of times it's because you are clinging to the old story like grandma clings to her sweater. If you want to know how to avoid that, then stay tuned. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another rousing episode of Spill the Tea Tuesday. My name is Flossie, and I consider myself to be the funniest, wittiest mindset coach, as well as your OG hype you up rampage queen here on YouTube. If you want one-on-one coaching with me, links are going to be in the description box below. And sorry that I have been kind of on hiatus. I got sick and then had to catch up and all of that. And then I tried to record this video, and then it was on some weird setting to where it wasn't allowing me to show you my calendar to where you could see it. So I'm going to try to run through this real quick. If you don't like my calendar, then just skip ahead, yo. It says the whole damn city's coming back from vacation. If you're master manifesting, you can literally have your whole life feel like a vacation. Get your shit together, period, if you want to get what you want, which is exactly the topic of this video. You need to get your mental diet together. FML, fuck my life. It sounds like some negative victim mentality to me. Happy fucking hump day. Don't care. Every day can be hump day or a weekend if you want. Swearing is fucking caring. Of course it is. Of course it is. How many more fucking weddings are there going to be this year? Could be years if you keep affirming and persisting. Hashtag shit show. Yeah, that's what your 3D looks like when you still, what? Cling to the old story. Fucking crush it, as in crush your routine and that mental diet. Halloween stores and shit already. Halloween shit in stores. Okay, don't care. I came, I saw, I fucking conquered. How about you conquer your mental diet and your routine so that you can, what? Get your shiznit. Still not fucking Friday. Master manifesting. Every day can be Friday or Saturday. 3-day weekend. Don't care when you've manifested a ton of money. It says done. August is finally fucking finished. I like the summer. Get ready to see as much orange as humanly fucking possible. A lot of people like Halloween time too. Shitty back to school traffic. Not if you manifested away. Happy fucking pumpkin spice September. A lot of people like that as well. Hell yeah, leaves and shit. You know when I read this to you that it's backwards for me, right? This better be the last time to cut the fucking grass. That's why, if you're like me, you have a lawn man. You have a lawn man. Why? Because I manifest enough money to have one. Clean your damn house. I don't do that either. Why? I got a cleaning lady. Period. These are the fucking days to affirm and persist. Affirm and persist. After Tuesday, even the calendar says WTF. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or for us, what the fuck. Shit, mierda. Different ways to say that word. Victim mentality. Today, do fuck all. Yeah, let us say this to the 3D. While we continue to firm and persist, let's not sit here and reaffirm that shit happens. You can have the 3D happen to you or make it happen for you. Bitch, you earned some brunch. How about bitch, you got your manifestations? I think I like that better. Good Lord, how many damn months does one really need to look for a Halloween costume? Should be able to do it in a couple hours. You're a fucking badass. Yeah, when you're on your routine and mental diet and you're being a master of manifesting purposely, it's too early to be this fucking tired. I don't often feel exceptionally tired because I have some people who do some things for me and I don't have to bother with it. Be majestic AF. Yeah, step in your power as the opera and power of your reality. Get your badass ready for the weekend. Again, every day could be the weekend. Bitch, go pick some apples or have someone do it for you. Officially fucking fall. Everybody likes fall. Well, not everybody. I'm more of a summer person actually, but a lot of people like fall. The early bird can fucking suck it. How about the early bird who affirms and persists actually gets what they want? Not gonna suck it. What you call swear words, I call fucking self-expression. Well, you guys know I swear a ton. Where did all these leaves come from? Probably the trees duh. But you can manifest living somewhere where you don't have that issue. Do we really need another fucking corn maze? I don't know. I don't recall ever being in one. And this is what we say to the 3D. So now, sorry for that long-winded catch-up. That was a lot. Of course, you guys can always fast forward if you don't wish to be a part of it. So what do I want to say in this video? Get out of your own way. You guys are getting in your own way, and you're causing your own unintentional delays by clinging to the old story. I had a call with a client today, and I actually told her that I was going to make this a topic of the video because we were talking about what she's manifesting, and she kept referring to the old story while talking about her manifestation. And I ended up saying to her, why are you choosing to think that? Well, that's what's happened. Okay, cool. Why are you still choosing to think that? Why are you still choosing to entertain that? Why aren't you creating a story and assigning a meaning for you? Why aren't you telling yourself something else? Why aren't you flipping it? Why aren't you affirming and persisting? You know, when you're manifesting something, you can't have one foot in and one foot out. And what a lot of times, you know, coaches will say that. Not everybody knows what it means. Basically, like, you can't have one foot in, you know, the new story up here and then continue to have one foot in the old story. So if you're affirming, and of course, maybe you can refer to the videos that I have uploaded where I'm doing, like, you know, my showing with props manifesting, but maybe look at that, because if you're affirming and you're affirming for, you know, let's say you're doing your routine, and depending on how long you like to affirm or how long feels comfortable to you or whatever guidance that you're currently following, let's say you're affirming each topic 3 to 5 minutes or maybe even 10 minutes 3 times a day. So like, even if you did 10 minutes 3 times a day, that's 30 minutes. But if you're spending 8 hours all day long clinging to the old story stronger than grandma clings to her old holy sweater, and I mean full of holes, not like holy as in religious, you're going to what? Continue to what? Experience the old story. Why? Because that is still your dominant thought. That is still what you're giving your attention to. That is still what you're looking at. It's still what you're expecting, anticipating. I don't care how you look at it to make sense in your mind, but you need to change your dominant thought on the topic so that your 3D reality can conform. You change your dominant thought, it goes to your subconscious to manifest, and then guess what? It's mirrored back to you, reflected back to you in your 3D reality. But if every time you turn around, the explanations that you're giving yourself as to why you don't have what you want, or when you think of the topic, you're thinking of the old story, you are going to continue to what? Get the old story. Period. You guys, a lot of times, are in your own way. And I've been guilty of that too. Like, a lot of people have done it. I try to be transparent about it. I've done it too. I have clung sometimes to the old story. Why? Because it's what I knew. I got validation every time I complained about it. And I just wanted to continue to live in it, I guess. But when you decide to put that to bed and actually focus on what you want, your 3D reality can start to change. So if SP wasn't too good to you, or maybe hurt your feelings, or, you know, said that they never wanted a relationship, you can't keep reminding yourself that SP said, SP said, SP said. I don't give a fuck about what SP says. Maybe I need to link the video about that here, because SP can say whatever, but when you change your dominant thought, you will get a different version of SP that what? Wants to be with you, or wants whatever it is that you're affirming. You thought some thoughts about SP to get the version that you got. Maybe look at my video, Don't Like the Story, Change the Script, because you give everyone in your 3D reality a script of how they're going to show up, what character role that they're going to play. And that is all based on your thoughts and assumptions. If you don't like the role they're playing, you have to change the script. Change the script by changing your dominant thoughts. If you're really struggling with the old story, then, you know, do the FU letter, do the command letter, do things that help you to put it to sleep for you. You know, a lot of times when we're manifesting, we're not really processing some of the things that happen to us. And we're not necessarily, you know, we're not grieving the loss perhaps, or we're not saying the things we want to say. Why? Because in our mind, we have that. Or, you know, we're together with SP. We've got all the money. We've got the job we want. We have the perfect health. And so when in your mind, you're trying to tell yourself that you have what you want, you're not going through necessarily the process that you would normally go through for grieving the loss of the relationship, the money, the job, or just even grieving not having it, or the emotions that come up with it. And so the FU letter helps to put those to bed. So does EFT tapping. Affirming actually does also help to get rid of the old story because you're changing your mindset. But if you find that you're really struggling with the old story, use a tool to help you put it in the trash where it belongs because you are not processing it like you normally would, which is why it still seems to be flaring up and bothering you. If you still continue to see yourself as poor and reaffirm it to yourself every time you turn around, or not having the relationship or not having the job, that's what you're going to continue to experience. You don't have to, let me see how to put this. There's always going to be some sort of duality while you're manifesting. Why? Because we typically don't have what we want. And that's why we're purposely manifesting it. So if you don't have the relationship, the job, the money, the car, the house, the health, you're affirming and persisting for what you want. In the 3D, you're experiencing something else. So you deal with the 3D as you need to. You're going to pay your bills, continue to go to work. I mean, you're not going to quit your job just because you're manifesting money. You're not going to run around town telling, everybody ridiculous things. You're going to continue to live in the 3D as you would. I mean, you're not going to start blowing up an SP's phone that you're in no contact with just because in your mind you're together, right? No, because then they're going to be like, what? Why are you stalking me? That's the reaction you're going to get from that version of SP, because they don't want you to blow up their phone because you have the shitty, crusty Chewbacca version. So you're going to walk in that duality where in the 3D, you may have to do certain things while your 3D reality conforms. But in your mind, your mindset is you have the relationship, you have the money, you have the perfect job, and you're going to continue to, to affirm and persist until the 3D reality conforms. Get out of your own way. Process some of the emotions that aren't working for you. Use some of the tools. I'll probably link somewhere either in this video or down below, like some of the videos like on, anxiety and manifesting and getting rid of the old story and those sorts of things, because, I don't want to put in every video like how to do every EFT tapping or how to do an FU letter, command letter, and all those things, but they are worthwhile tools. And I've had a lot of clients use the tools, say they feel a lot better. They feel like a weight is lifted off their shoulder. I've had clients who initially refused to use the tools because they didn't think they needed it. And then after they had been around the circus wheel, the roller coaster, the Ferris wheel, hamster wheel, whatever, a handful of times because they're clinging to that old story like Granny in her sweater, they finally decided to use the tools. And guess what? That's when their shit started coming in. That's when they started feeling better. That's when they were able to affirm and persist easier. So do you have to use tools? No. No, but you do need to affirm and persist and keep a clean mental diet. And if you aren't able to do those on your own because you have some old story that's overwhelming you, then do something about it in the 3D so that you can get to where you want to go by affirming and persisting and getting what you want. If it's interfering with your affirming and persisting, it's got to go. It's got to go. Even if you're affirming, I'm in total and complete control of my mind. I only think thoughts in line with my manifestation. I've easily let go of my past. It doesn't exist anymore. There's things that you could choose to affirm. I've easily forgiven XYZ. I mean, if you're going to acknowledge an old story and you feel like you're having a hard time forgiving someone, you can affirm for that. If you're revising, obviously you're not going to affirm that you're forgiving somebody, but look at whatever your situation is. How are you feeling? What could you affirm in order to feel something else that's not too big of a reference to the old story, or is at least in line with what you are going to acknowledge? So I hope this video is helpful to you. Should be back on track with making videos now. Drop any comments, questions, concerns below because I love to check them out. And as usual, I'll talk to you later. Bye.